We're gonna do college basketball first. Had a lot. This is the part of college basketball that is the most entertaining and the most fun to watch. Tournament time, Sweet 16.
It's a shame they won't do this all season, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
Well, women's does. um,
And that's the reason we
uh,
support them. Go, ladies.
but before we get to the tournament, we're gonna talk about uh
Uh-oh.
before we get to the Elite Eight of Sweet 16, we're gonna talk about some movement around the NCAA tournament. So if y'all remember, it happened not too long ago, maybe last week. I think North Carolina was upset. And Hubert Davis, as a result, everybody was calling for him. It was almost a foregone conclusion that it was time for him to get fired from North Carolina so that they can go and get somebody that they want that could win. So tough for Hubert.
Yeah, tough for Hubie. I think the writing was on the wall for him. As tough as this is, and the reason I say it's tough is this is his alma mater. Also, sometimes there's grace in the morning. I tell people that all the time. Getting out of a bad situation while it sucks right now, getting out, getting onto another staff, get the stench off of you, and getting on to somewhere else, you can turn it around. Like, this ain't the end. It ain't the end all be all. UNC basketball blue blood, that they have an expectation, and unfortunately he wasn't meeting the standard. He did have some good wins, but he wasn't consistent enough. And good luck to the next guy. It's going to be just as tough for him as it was for Hubie. This ain't an easy place to coach and win.
Well, also, Hubert Davis went 2-1 against Coach K, so he can always say he had a winning record against Coach K. Got him up out of there, really. Ushered them on to glory. You know what I mean?
Right.
Coaching
Yeah,
glory.
no.
What I mean.
Ushered that man to glory is crazy.
Unfortunately for Hubert, I do think that Caleb Wilson was his ticket to another year. And then once he got hurt, it was like, well,
all she wrote.
And then y'all losing in the tournament was just kind of what sealed the deal. It was kind of like a
and that's the part
Tomlin Harbaugh type thing where it was like, no matter what you did, unless you won the championship or made the Final Four, they was getting you up out of there, big dog.
And in hindsight, nobody's going to look back and say, oh, his best player was hurt. It's what I say about injuries all the time. Yeah, it matters, but nobody remembers. Did you win? Did you lose? And this is going to be a case where,
UNC, bro, you should have more than one good player. Just like
Duke. I mean, you should, but I mean, also Duke has all of them, and you got NIL, so they're just spaced out infinitely more. So that expectation, hey, y'all have spent some money, some big money.
Yep. And speaking of money, the number one candidate is rumored to be Billy Donovan. Isn't it funny how when we have these conversations about these coaches, we literally just talked about the Bulls. I think it's either last episode or episode before, and it was like, what is Billy Donovan going to do? He's been in Chicago for what I looked up today was 11 years.
Middling. Just being in the play.
Mid.
Playing every year. Playing. And you've seen these other teams go up, and like you've seen the Pacers come around you. You've seen the Magic come around you. The Heat have been consistently better. The Hawks have traded their number one player, and they've now kind of looked like they're headed in a different direction. If you don't get anything done, then what are you doing in basketball?
I think that was his role in Chicago. I don't think Billy was ever supposed to be the end all be all in Chicago. And I also think Billy knew that probably after like year 4 or 5. And I think Billy has been biding his time until the right job, whether it's college or pro, to get the next job. And that's a blue blood. A blue blood would be North Carolina, a Duke, which I don't remember if he was rumored to be in there. I think Duke had already pretty much had Shire pretty much on the list. But North Carolina, Duke, high-paying jobs like maybe Texas, UCLA is back in women's basketball. Like, those are the teams that I would see in college, or, the Knicks, some type of or maybe Las Vegas in the pros. But so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all for him, and he would be a great addition. The other rumor is Michael Jordan has apparently reached out to
Arizona's head coach. I can't think of his name, but
Arizona's head coach.
Also, the golden child himself has put more pressure on Florida to extend him after we extended him last year because he is young. He's already won a championship. We had a good regular season. I think that we had a good regular season with some missing some offensive talent, and he's the young hot shot guy. So more pressure. I think that he should stick with Florida because we gonna spend the money. It's one thing that we have.
I bet you do.
Well, I mean, I think that Florida is a good place to be if you're a coach and you can be good because you're gonna get the money. We're gonna spend it, and we like winners and we love winners.
Yeah, but I mean, again, UNC is UNC in basketball,
right? I wouldn't hate it, but if you go to UNC, at best, you're just one of the guys. At Florida, you're already the guy junior. And if you win one more, then you're the guy. And then everything after that, you're the king.
I mean, yeah. In basketball, yeah. I am surprised that he doesn't have. I don't know if it's his agent and him doing this where they don't have multi-year and I just keep winning and y'all just gonna keep paying me.
No. We extended him, but we want to. Let's give you some more money so you don't even think about it no more.
Well, the buyout drops from 16 to 11. That's what it is. It drops from 16 million to 11 million after April 16th. 11 million when the NIL era, we've seen football, they paid $70 million to get people out of there.
I can't remember who brought this up, but there is a valid point by, I forgot what NBA player it was, that if you're going to spend all of this money to get rid of the player, get rid of the coach, you might as well, the buyout money, you might as well invest in NIL and try to get him some better resources, unless you really just think you missed that terribly.
It all depends on who's available too.
I agree, but I mean, that made me it made me pause for looking at the buyouts and you spending $20 million. Well, if the buyout is going to drop by 10, why don't you just give him the 10? Unless you just really feel like these guys aren't even close. Then you got to look at the people who made the decision.
Yeah. And with the way the NIL market is anyway, you can do anything. There is no repercussions. Just look at Baton Rouge. I have never seen this before, or have I? And I'm just drawing a blank right now.
When you say you haven't seen, you talking about Wade or
with Will Wade,
exciting whites.
Actually, everything that's in this LSU segment, I've never seen before. Will Wade, including Mike Tomlin's son, Will Wade was the coach at LSU. Yeah, that was a good one. He got caught basically bragging about FBI surveillance, bragging about blue chipping a player, basically giving them a duffel bag of money or something like that of some sort, paying for a player. He gets fired. He sits out for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Then he goes to McNeese State. He immediately wins at McNeese State. I think he made the tournament. Then he's hired by North Carolina State, and they become good and make the tournament immediately. And then the team that he got fired from for breaking the law, which now is not breaking the law because it's NIL era, hires him back. So, and I think LSU was put on probation. Y'all fact check me on that one. But what's crazy is he's back at LSU.
Yeah, I mean,
what a time to be alive in Baton Rouge, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is at the end of the day, they trying. This is what trying looks like, and You got Moki, who's the queen around there, but she ain't beloved by everybody due to some of her thoughts and beliefs. You got the lane train stopping there. Who knows what that next destination is? But he's exciting. All of them are interesting, intriguing, and due to, I mean, they're going to bring eyes. They're going to bring players. The question is, will everybody stay out of trouble?
Well, it's also interesting how all three of them were hired too, right? Will Wade left North Carolina State like a thief in the night. It was rumored that he had it basically given a silent. Yeah, they were put on probation in 22. Appreciate it, Kev. It was rumored that yeah, that's what it was. 22. It was rumored that he actually started or purchased a home or whatever February 23rd. So even though he was shooting all of these commercials with North Carolina State and giving everybody like, I'm gonna be here, I think he just recreated the Jim Valvano famous commercial for North Carolina State like last week, and then left by sending an email from his agent.
I ain't gonna be there.
That's how Will Wade left. Think about Lane Kiffin, how he left Ole Miss. Oh yeah, held them hostage and then accepted the job the week before, or a couple weeks before the college football playoff game.
Now I think that some of this.
Wait, one more. Kim Mulkey had just won the national championship with Baylor and Brittany Griner, and then she left and went to LSU. All of them left them schools a bad taste in the mouth.
I do think that the best thing that we could do is get these timelines changed. NCAA not helping these situations by not having appropriate timelines where coaches can end one thing and move on to the other thing. Now, the other part is some of these people need to find their integrity. And ain't enough timelines in the world to make you find integrity. But I think that we could at least help and mitigate some of it for the players. If you're going to be a piece of shit, you're going to be a piece of shit. Ain't nothing going to change that.
Yeah. And they got three. And depending on who you talk to, they got three.
I just knew Red was going to be like, and they got some. Go ahead.
I had to clean it up. I said, depending on who you talk to, they got three of them. And dang, I didn't think about how they got Saban. Not how Saban left. He left LSU that way.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, we are going to talk about the men's basketball tournament first. It was the Elite Eight, which was Uconn versus Duke, Illinois versus Iowa, Arizona, Purdue, and Michigan versus Tennessee. Game of the day, Uconn versus Duke. Uconn comes all the way back against the number one seeded Blue Devils.
Unbelievably.
Unbelievable. I think at one point they were down like 18 points. They come back and get a steal and a half court. I don't even call it a heave. That was just a shot. He shot it. Three. Nothing
after
but
he
net.
Went 0 for 4 for the other threes during the game. So shoot. And he believed in himself and shot that shit and made it.
Duke was sick. Shire was sick. And depending on who you are, my wife's from Durham, she was ecstatic that Duke lost. Not only was she happy that they lost, how Duke lost was so crazy. If y'all go back, and maybe in this reel, I'll have it playing at the bottom, but if y'all go look, man, I can't believe they won that game. The little boozer was crying. He was crushed, turned the ball over.
I feel bad for him, but my Gators going home seems way more. We all out of here early. I feel way more comfortable about it now with everybody having a seat right next to us. I can cope a little bit easier. Seeing Duke go home made me feel a lot better because I do think that they were a better team than the Gators. That's just my own personal feelings and thoughts about it.
They made it to the Elite Eight now. I mean, they made it to the bracket final. They just lost on a heave. They really choked. They choked this game away.
And I hate it because I do like I like Boozer a lot, and I think that he's a tough kid. And I hate that. Number one, you can see he said one of them said I cost our team the season. The other one's like, this is just a terrible feeling. That's rough, man, for a college kid.
Is Duke overrated?
All
them players that they've had over the last 20 years. And they only got one title. I don't think they got a title. They ain't got a title in the last.
You had Coach K, who was good, but the game had started passing him by as far as like going towards
great.
I mean, great, right? Correct. I don't want that to be the thing, but he just wasn't the most accepting of the one and dones, and that was a fundamental change. That it's like what's your boy Clemens? It's like Dabo in the transfer portal. Like you can fight it all you want to. Eventually, you have to say, "Hey, the game has changed, and I have to adapt."
20 years might be too much. 10 years, not 20. 20 years ago. Nah, they was cooking. 10 years.
And then now they have all of the guys, but they haven't mastered how to win. And it's tough when you're going to have those type of, ask John Calipari. Like if you're going to have all of the NBA guys, you're only going to have them for a short period of time. You're having Kaba Malouk for 1 year, Cooper Flag 1 year, the Boozer brothers for 1 year, and then they're getting the hell on. The rest of these,
Jason Tatum,
right? And you are basically putting all the guys into the NBA, but you can't. You're really rebuilding a program every year, or like around a guy who's not going to be there next year. Like he is literally not going to. As soon as the season over, his college career is over. Yeah, and that's tough.
But they gotta, and I mean, they gotta figure it out. They will. I mean, Duke is Duke. They're gonna get. That's another school that's gonna have. They're gonna buy their way into some explanation,
right? And they ain't gonna let Shire walk out of the door because he's knocking on the door and he's putting everybody in the NBA at the same time. So it takes time. And I hate to say it, but even the guys who are the best at this, it took them a long time before they won their championship. Everybody ain't gonna be Todd Golden. And I think that put an unrealistic expectation on things. You have a guy who kind of comes in and wins really quick. You go back and look at the Tom Izzo's, Coach K, John Calipari. They had to get it out of the mud.
Yeah, Coach K won a championship in almost every decade he coached. 90s, 2000s, 2 in the 2010s. That's crazy. That's amazing. Other games. Illinois. Young Peja, Peja Stojakovic's son, leads Illinois to beat Iowa 71-59. Strong, dominant game by Illinois. That backcourt duo they have of Peja's son. Golly, what is his name?
And Keaton Wagler.
Peja's son. Keaton Wagler, but Peja Stojakovic's son.
I cannot remember right now. But the thing about
they are beasts, though.
And the quote-unquote Eastern Block 5 is, I think that colleges are going to start reevaluating European teams, European professional teams, and saying, hey, if it's one of these schools, it's not going to be the one-and-done producer. Can we go get 3 or 4 guys who are still kind of young but been playing in Europe at these top-tier teams? Hey, can you come over here and play college for 3 or 4 years and let's try to win a championship? And I don't hate it. You got to figure out how you're going to be successful. And everybody ain't going to get Cooper Flag and Boozer and everybody else in the world. You got to figure out a way to get your team to be successful. And that might be more of the Kelvin Sampson role, where let me find some older guys who are more developed and just stronger basketball players, since I can't go get the best guy in college right now, or the best guy in high school right now.
They're not listed nobody's age. Only classification.
For what? Lifelong learner, baby. We're trying to win this chip.
Yeah, Keaton Wagler, though. Keaton Wagler is the reason I really want to talk about this. He's starting to be mocked more and more to the Hawks. assuming that we get like the 7-8 pick versus the 1,
him
2,
and
3,
Michael
4
Brown. Now I like
Yeah.
Keaton Wagler. He can shoot it. It does concern me that he's 6'5", 6'6". No dunks. No dunks is scary. We need, you gonna play on this team? We need you to finish. Finishers only.
Maybe having a scary finishing now. But
right. So the last thing I want to do is have another guy who don't dunk at 6'5". If you don't dunk in college, I mean, maybe you could, but I don't know if you're gonna do it in high school. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna do it
combo
in college. I mean,
though, right? He's a 1-2.
Yeah.
Really a 2-1.
Probably
Really more of a 2-1.
Maybe a 2-3. 2-3 in the NBA. I don't know if his handle is sound enough for him to come in and be a facilitator, not like A Cuff or Michael Brown or Darren Peterson. All of those guys I think have infinitely a better handle. His thing is his height and length on a team that's already kind of tall and long. He would be an excellent addition.
Yeah. They beat Iowa the whole game. Game really wasn't that close. And then of course Arizona just absolutely overwhelms Purdue. Arizona is, every time I see them being featured, they be beating the hell out of people. 15, 20 points.
And that's how you get a call from Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Hey, want to come over to Tobacco Road?
Funny story. My name's Jeff. A lot of people call me Mike. They want to be like me. I have sneakers. Are you interested? I also win NASCAR.
Very true. Very true. So now Arizona will take on Michigan because Michigan just exposed Tennessee as the fraud that they are. Beat them by like 30 points. So now Uconn plays Illinois, which is going to be a really good game.
Absolutely.
And then Arizona plays Michigan because Arizona and Michigan are the two heavyweights of this Final Four, with Uconn and then of course Illinois. I can't wait for these games. These games are what, April 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Time to lock in.
You got Crazy Hurley, who got into it with the referee. I do think that he should be fined.
That boy was stared.
I damn near think that he should be suspended, but you probably cannot suspend him for a Final Four game.
Not in the Final Four.
You can't do that to a referee, though. You cannot put your forehead on his forehead. No. And that referee should have punched you in your shit to keep it 1,000 with you. Yeah, I'm a grown man. And you think we're gonna go forehead to forehead? No. Ain't no way. Illinois is a very good balanced team.
Very much so.
Very interesting to see what they do. And then, like you said, you got the heavyweight punchers in Arizona and Michigan here. Michigan and Yaxel, that's another guy who we potentially could go after, kind of a talented tween big-ish who can pass.
Arizona got one too that we could go after.
I'm interested.
6'11" forward center.
I'm interested to see what this plays out with. And yeah, I think that we could potentially, out of these four teams, we could end up with a guy from one of these four teams. Should be fun to watch. And now it's finally interesting enough for me to.
Is that you said Chris Sinak Jr.? Sinak from Arizona?
Yep.
Yeah, 6'11" with a 7'5" wingspan. But the Hawks don't like to use people with long arms for some reason at the 5. Shout out to Quinn, pissing me off. Which
downrange.
With that being said, man, I can't wait for that. But of course, y'all know we tuning into this
oh man,
NCAA women's basketball.
The killer herself.
Dawn. First off, shout out to Dawn. Made her 9th Elite 8 in 11 years. One of those years was COVID. So shout out to Dawn. And then of course they actually just beat TCU. They took out Oklahoma 94-68 to even get to the Elite 8. And then they just played TCU tonight and they won by 20-something points.
Barbecue chicken. Thanks for playing. Hope you have fun. And the worst part about her and the best part about her is she's really nice even on the way out. Hey, she's signing basketballs. Hey, peace and blessings. Next year, We don't hate you. We love you. Y'all played a good game. Shake everybody. She is a lovable opponent. And while I do appreciate how classy she is, that probably will also just drive me so crazy.
That you can't beat her.
Don't whoop me and then love me. Like let me be miserable.
Yeah, and I hate to have to keep playing them every year. Like Syracuse has to play Uconn every year. That lady was mad. Syracuse coach, she was like, "Bruh, y'all keep putting us in the same bracket for 9 straight years. There's no way we're in the same bracket for 9 straight years."
Right.
I was like, I mean, I'd be upset too.
Help me. Somebody help me. Get these people away from me. Let's move right on here. Very big.
Did you watch this game?
Absolutely. And of course, I do want to remind y'all that there is a little beef between Kara Lawson and Flage. And earlier in the season when LSU was cutting Duke's ass, Flage talked big shit to Kara Lawson, Duke's coach. I think that it has something to do with something that happened in the summer. But they don't love each other. And for this game to come down to one shot at the end on Flage, it's a rough way to go home in your final college basketball game. Yeah, but that's the reason we love this.
What we're talking about is Duke upsets. Yeah, upsets LSU. Duke, which is really not upset. The number 3 seed shocks LSU at the buzzer. Wins 87-85 over LSU. I thought LSU had come all the way back to win. And then what's your girl that transferred from South Carolina to LSU?
Malaysia Fulwale.
Malaysia Fulwale got a steal and went up for the layup. And Moki was saying she should have backed it out. But it was a great game by Duke. Duke
you don't pay Malaysia for that. Lay with the butter, gonna lay with the butter. That's what it is. You gotta live by it, die by it.
Yep. But and then Duke, who dominated the boards in this game, hit the game winner, and it was smoke. It was spicy. It was spicy all game too. This was a very, very entertaining game.
Flage was crushed too.
Yeah, she was tough. It was tough for her, man. So Duke moved on to play UCLA. They just lost. UCLA is the number 1 team in the nation. They're really, really good, and Duke hung with them. But second half, it was over with. Y'all just ran out of gas. Yep. And then, of course, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish defeat number 2 Vandy 67-64. Helena Hidalgo. Is that her first name, Helena? Did I just butcher that?
Hannah.
I did. I knew it. I was like, that does not. There's an L in there that I didn't. Yeah. Hannah Hidalgo had almost a quadruple double: 31 points, 11 rebounds, 10 steals, and 7 assists to lead them over. Vanderbilt. And she played. This is the first time, I believe, in like the last decade or so that Notre Dame has made the Elite Eight, which is the bracket final. Unfortunately, they had to play UConn, and they ended up losing by 18. She still had a great game. Gino Ariama said that she was the best point guard in college.
And this is going to be another really big WNBA draft where you're going to get a lot of players. And they're all, I think, really good players, too. It ain't no slouches.
Yeah. But Hannah Hidalgo's coming back, though. She already told Gino, he was like, "You going pro?" She was like, "Nope, I want to fight. I want to get y'all one more time."
I mean,
so they play each other.
It's tough to walk away from the money because there's so much money. Now, this is the other part is when you transition, it's like when we was at Harkness and they have no air conditioning. Now y'all coming in with super maxes, y'all coming in with planes, y'all coming in with paternity leave. It's a whole different, and they got another girl at USC. USC ain't gonna be no joke next year.
Yeah, I was about to say Juju does come back next year too.
But that's women's basketball. I'm glad the world is coming around. I used to be a fan by myself, and then y'all cared too much and got in the way. Now I think y'all finding a good happy medium to just enjoy the product and shut the up. Thank you.
And then of course we said UCLA beat Duke already, so UCLA will play the winner of the Texas-Michigan game, and let me tell you, it is UCLA versus Texas. Michigan might as well have been an 11 seed. They lost by like 20-something points.
Lord.
They beat them to death. So the Final Four is set. Gino and Uconn versus UCLA, and also Texas and South Carolina. South Carolina and Texas play each other. Texas beat the shit out of South Carolina in the SEC championship game.
I feel like it's just Gino and Dawn in this forever fight. And Miss Ivy coaching at Notre Dame, she's right there in that same conversation. But it's like that fight is never changing. And I can understand get into this because
I disagree. That fight always changing for Gino. Gino that survived Tennessee, Baylor.
You're right.
LSU, South Carolina.
Grizzled veteran. Just go out there. Hey, who y'all got now? But I think that Dawn ain't going nowhere.
Nah.
And ain't no running from her either.
And she likes where she is. Yep.